Seriously? Cat litter? Yes, yes I am. And no, I haven't completely lost my marbles. I mean, I've lost a few, but hey, that's debatable depending on who you ask. My husband, my kids. But you guys, you all think I'm okay, right? I taught this technique in my craft club not too long ago, but it wasn't with kitty litter. But somebody suggested it, and it's just a, what is that, a veggie bag? I don't know, when you get groceries. Tying a knot. Across the whole bottom, we're going to tie a knot. All right. So, see that? Just ooh, easy. Now we're going to flip it inside out, and what we have is that. Okay. This is where the kitty litter is going to come in, and I'm not going to use a lot because I don't want giant flowers. Right. These can be made whatever size you want. Whoever scooped up kitty litter? I did, that's who. So one of my members in my private community suggested using this, right? Or she actually suggested rice, but I had kitty litter, right? So what I'm after here is where that knot is, I want it to be kind of centered, right? Yeah, like that. See that? So you could tie this. I think that's what I'll do. Or you could use an elastic. I just don't want to bother running to get one. Right? All right. So that's what you have, right? Here's where it starts to get fun, right? Now, this may or may not work. That's the fun part, right? I have some magenta. I'm going to add a little bit of extender to make this thinner. You don't have to. It's just that my paint is really thick because it's heavy body paint, they call it. And I want it more like craft paint, right? So like what you get out of the craft bottle. All right, so we're going to just paint this guy. Like that, okay? And then we're gonna hope for the best, right? We're gonna press it down and then take a look at that. Doesn't that look like a flower? Isn't that cool? It's one of my favorite things, right? So I'm gonna do some more. Each one looks a little different. I can also add some white to change some shades. So I'm going to put some white on my palette. This is my favorite palette, which is the lid off of anything you buy that you eat, plastic. So it's like a cottage cheese container. So I'm going to put some white in the middle. Like that. See that? And then we're just going to stamp it down here. Ooh, each one's going to be different. All right, go back to this guy. We need more. Hey, Bobby, it works great with the rice or kitty litter. Thanks for the idea. A little bigger here. Paint further out. Ooh. Now you can see why I liked the background to be subtle, right? Even though I'm not subtle. Black and white, it would be, you could see it, right? It would work too. It's just a different look, right? But I'm just testing things that I don't normally do. And that's where the fun is, right? If I only do what I love, and if I only do what I know is gonna, I can only do the same thing over and over again, that's no fun. That's not being creative to me, right? So I want to do things where there's a bit of a risk, right? So there's a bit of a risk to this, right? Like, will it work? Won't it? Now, you could do these separate. You don't have to do the right on here. I'm going for it because I've done this once before, right? And I like how it came out. So we're just doing a whole bouquet here. And we're playing with the paint to see what it does when we do this, when we do that. Right? Ooh, okay, I like that too. So let's do white, and then let's do magenta in the middle. You could do orange with the magenta. It makes a great, like, sorry, yellow, and it makes a great looking orange. And let's do a second print just for the heck of it. See if we can get anything from that. So that one's more faded, right? Now this could all go in what do you call it? A frame. That's what you call it, right? All right, so I'm gonna do one more, and then we'll call this good. All right, so you can see where I'm going with that, right? We're not done yet though. Trust me, we're not done yet. All right, done with that. Put that kitty litter aside to dry. I'm gonna grab my heat gun, but you could use your blow dryer just to give this, like, make it dry, because otherwise we could be sitting here for a long time waiting for those to dry. I'm just using cardstock here for demo purposes. You could do this on wood. You can stencil on glass. And it's, hi Diane, it's easy to get off. So it's kind of fun because it's temporary on glass, right? All right, I think that's pretty good. We'll know in a minute. I'm gonna grab, this is a quick dry technique too, just to get that excess paint off. So that was what was not quite dry yet. All right, so we're good. I'm fine with that. I normally would just I'd leave it on my craft table like you and then walk away and go do some other things and then come back later. So we have that on there. Now let me show you the next step. Hang on a second. I'm gonna grab, it's a paint marker, okay? See that? And it's got two ends, a thicker end. The other way that I've used is ultrafine Sharpie, right? Not a regular Sharpie, but an ultrafine Sharpie. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna kind of outline the flowers just kind of loosely to give them some definition, right? This is where your artistic self comes into play. Now I like the ultrafine Sharpie. so now we have that. And you can start to see the flowers. The black just makes them pop out a little bit more, all right? And then what you can do is kind of figure out where the petals might be on this and just put some lines in from where you think the petals might be, right? Now, I personally like an odd number. So you can see how they're starting to take more flower shape, right? It's just a kind of a, it gives people the idea that these are flowers, you know? Well, that's, like I said, I've been doing abstract lately, so abstract's what you're getting, right? That's just how it is. Whatever I'm into, you guys are with me. And I love to experiment. Like I say, there's just so many ways to do things. I'm not a person that likes to stick to one thing forever and ever, amen, right? Well, except for my husband. Okay, 43 years. I guess we can give me that one, right? But when it comes to art and crafts, I love how, like, I think my thing would be probably paint is the one thing that's kind of always been part of my art and craft life. It's always had to do with paint. So you can see the flowers there now, right? Can you see them? And you can see the stencil slightly behind it. This is just, it's just homage, right? Now, let's see what else can we do. Oh, let's cover that up. Right? So I'm going to take this color. No, I'm just going to leave that. I'm just going to go back with the, let me see if I have the Sharpie marker. I do have one. Okay, this is a Sharpie marker. It's ultra fine, right? Look at the tip on that, right? These don't generally bleed, where the regular Sharpies may, depending on what you're doing with them. So I like to go around this a couple of times, right? So around the edge a few times and very sort of like loosely. You'll see what I mean in a second. I just kind of follow, I don't even follow the old line, I go across it and back. So you can see kind of, right, let's see, right there you can just see, right? Just a few little other lines. So we're just playing, right? And we can add some lines in the center to make like the stamens, all right? Now, that's what I wanted to do. Let's come back with, I think, some yellow. Okay, let's just use a yellow paint marker. And we're going to put some centers on these. So now you can see, do they not look like flowers? And only we know there was kitty litter involved, right? All right, so I'm gonna go back to that stencil and see the bloom part. I'm gonna put that down here, but I'm gonna put it, you see, I'm just putting it over. I'm gonna put it down here, okay? On the, actually I'm gonna put it closer. I'm gonna layer it and I'm gonna use black this time, all right? So what I'm gonna do is cut this sponge so the gray is gone and I'll just use black. And I need a little tape just so it stays where I want it while I'm working. Okay, so let's grab some black paint. Where are we? Hang on. There we go. Hang on. Black paint. Come closer. All right, so. You don't need much. And I'm only going over where the letters are, right? You could do this in green, you could do it in yellow. I wouldn't do yellow on the white. It wouldn't show up enough. It's not contrasty enough for me. Too subtle. We talked about that. I'm not subtle, okay? There we go. Let's have a look. Maybe it needs more at the bottom there. Oh, there we go, yeah. That's why I have the tape, so I can check it, and if I think, oh, it's not quite right, I can just let it fall back down where it was, and boom. As we say here in Canada, Bob's your uncle. So there's that. Check it out. Right? I mean, who's gonna know, right? The last thing I wanna do, I think I wanna play around with some spatter, and I mean, I'm crazy, why not? I'm gonna put some paper towel down first though, because this stuff goes everywhere. Let's move all that stuff that's going in one of those envelopes over to here, far away. And I think I'm gonna use a navy. Now these are great napkin or great paper towels because they're washable, hand washed, you know, and kind of reusable. So now I do this, but I tend to get it everywhere. So if you don't want it all over your art table, just be aware this is messy. Right? All right, so I kind of have the space there. I'm going to take a brush, get my blue paint, yeah, I think blue will be good. See, that's the decisions you have to make as the creative, right? All right, so I have some blue here. I gotta really water it down, right? Like crazy, so. It should be like ink. Lots and lots of water. And we're gonna test it. Okay, that's good. So see, I tested on my paper towel. And I'm gonna stand up to do this. It's messy, right? And I'm gonna get some art spatter. You could put the word on at the very end when this is all dry. I'm gonna stop there. I mean, it's not me generally. I don't always stop there. I sometimes go way too far. And then we have it. Check it out. So we've used the stencils, right? We've used paint, imagination, and I mean, why not, right? So I think that's super creative. You could add, if you wanted to, if you're the least bit artistic, you could add in some green, some flower, you know, vines or leaves or whatever you like, and make it your own, right? So there you go.